Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Megan and I am primarily, I guess, making fashion videos or really whatever strikes my fancy, but this is typically the thing I want to talk about because this is a thing that no one in my personal life is actually interested in, which means I only have you to talk to about this. Isn't that great? So I just wanted to share with you some of the things that I am looking forward to most for fall. I love fall. It kicks off my favorite 3 seasons: fall, winter, spring. Summer is something I just kind of tolerate. I get through it. I just know that fall is on the other side, and yeah, I make it through. But fall is absolutely my favorite time of year. It has, you know, my birthday, now my wedding anniversary. Gosh, it was just always the start of all of my favorite holidays. I loved school growing up. I loved it. I got to see my friends every day and learn. Like, what is not to like about that? I just tolerated summer, and I'm still that way. So I cannot be doing a lot of shopping. This is not a haul video. In fact, right now I have no idea what to call it. Favorites for fall? I don't know. I do have a few new things that I don't think I've shared on either here, maybe some on Instagram, because it's easier just to throw them out really quickly on Instagram. But I did purchase some of these in the springtime. You know, that's a really good time to buy like fall, winter stuff because it's all going on sale then, as like the stores are preparing for summer. So these are some things that you have certainly have seen before. It's just kind of a mix all over. With not being able to shop, something that really helps me is to shop inside my wardrobe, like just hang out with my stuff, try on all my shoes, whatever, and just like really make me appreciate what I have. That Louis Vuitton bag was definitely not a planned purchase. It was something that I could comfortably do, obviously, but I know for the next few months, if I want to save up for like the Christmas season and maybe travel next year, hopefully, I don't want to be shopping the next few months, and I thought that doing this little roundup will help me and maybe be interesting for a video. So I will start with a new purchase. These are a pair of boots. I showed these on my Instagram. I got these at Nordstrom the other day, and this is probably one of the cheapest pairs of boots I've ever purchased, but they're leather, they are waterproof. It's from a brand called Blondo. I mentioned these on my Instagram because they have really bad reviews, like shockingly bad. Normally, you know, it's a pretty even distribution, but these were really, really poorly reviewed. They were on sale for $59, and then I was able to use some Nordstrom points towards like an additional amount off. So I thought it was like a really good deal. I wore them one day to the grocery store and loved them. Obviously it is more of a fall boot, and I cannot wait to get more use out of this. I love a waterproof boot. I don't really see a point in buying any other kind, like, unless it's a dressy boot. But you know, whatever you're doing, pumpkin fields, whatever, I feel like this is really good for walking around cities, and it's a really nice neutral color. I used to only ever buy black boots. That was it. I wouldn't even buy brown, but this goes really well with all of my green bags, and yeah, all the bags I'm going to mention later in this video. I will be saving bags towards the end, but I do want to mention some clothing items. Again, just getting myself in the mood. Oh, I should start with the thing I'm wearing. So I got this top from Banana Republic last week. This is one of the few new things that I have. I actually bought it in 2 colors. I was so hyped when I tried it on. I thought it was great. I'm gonna do cutaways so that you can see it. But I bought it also in an olive green color and kept it for about a week, obviously with tag on, didn't wear it. I decided to return that one because I was thinking it's gonna be noticeable as soon as I get sweaty in that. Does anyone else think about clothes that way, or is it just because I'm a sweaty swamp monster? I always think about like how noticeable will my sweat be with it being such a light color in comparison to like this dark navy. I was thinking about this the other day, and I would love anyone's opinion on this. So I don't consider myself to be an insecure person. I don't mind talking about all the typical things that we're not just supposed to have, you know, like sweat and body hair. Like it's, you know, whatever, okay? It's not a big deal. But at the same time, I also don't want to draw attention to it. Like I don't mind acknowledging that it happens, but I'm like, so does that mean I am insecure about it? Am I not? I mean, if I shave off my mustache, does that mean I'm insecure about my mustache, even though if I don't mind talking about it? I don't know. Sorry, ramblings of a crazy woman, but it's something that I was thinking about when I was returning this blouse. I'm like, does that mean that I'm insecure, or am I just acknowledging that this is considered like stereotypically unattractive or distracting? Anyway, I digress. I really, really like this top. I love the sleeves. There is gonna be a theme here with the next two tops I'm gonna show you, and it's gonna be like nipped in waist, peplum kind of style. This is an old Prada blouse that I got at a consignment shop. Consignment shops are so good for clothes because they can never ever sell clothes to retail. They're just so specific, and if you find something, even if you have to get something hemmed, it is worth it. You can get them hemmed for like 10 bucks. Oh, and the Nordstrom alterations, if you have a credit card with them, or even if you don't, the Nordstrom alterations team is really, really good. But yeah, this is just a simple black Prada blouse with buttons all down the back, nipped in waist, kind of a really slight flare, not a huge peplum, big flouncy kind of thing, and it's all fitted throughout the bust. Because I have a bigger chest, I don't like anything that's too overwhelming, and I like slimmer sleeves, I like bigger sleeves, whatever it is, but as long as it's kind of slim throughout the chest and the waist, I feel like it has a good balance. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to wearing. Again, with sitting on the floor, it's really hard to figure out how to organize the clothes around me, so everything is just kind of in a mess right now. But this is something that is new to me, but it is vintage. I got this at one of my favorite vintage shops in New Jersey. I love this blouse. It is pretty much as 80s as I will go. I'm not really a big fan of the over-the-top 80s styles. These have really, really subtle shoulder pads. It looks, you know, it's hard to tell right now on the hanger, but it has incredible detail. I showed this on my Instagram, and I think this will look fantastic with a pair of like bright yellow pumps, like just simple denim, this top, and then some kind of pop of color in the shoes or the bag. I love blue for that. Also has buttons up the back, which I can do by myself. I always make sure that I can deal with my clothes by myself, but that's also what Ben is there for when I can't deal with buttons. But yeah, just something really fun. Oh, this does have a skirt that goes with it. Again, I showed this all on Instagram. I did a full try on, but together it looks really dated. I love both pieces, and I love the skirt with cute little t-shirts and camis and stuff. That'll get a ton of use in the spring and summertime. This long sleeve blouse looks awesome on its own. Together you can tell. You can very much tell that it is a whole suit from the 80s. Okay, so for clothes, I just have 3 more things that I want to share. These are some jackets. This is, again, another vintage piece. I got this in a thrift store in Paris, and I love it. I really struggle with gray, but this is something that I would wear to some of my college courses a lot. I don't know why, but I really liked it. Just like this super casual 3/4 sleeve blazer. It's a more relaxed fit than I normally go for, and I didn't really use it all last year because we were still locked down, we weren't doing much, but I love it. And even if I'm just throwing it on to go to the grocery store or something, I really want to get more use out of this because I've had this now for 7, 8 years. It's probably one of my most used blazers. Yeah. Oh, and I love that it has the 2, what are these called? The pleats in the back, but it has 2 of them, and I find that when it has 2 versus just the typical 1 in the center, that's really flattering. If you have wider hips like me, it just kind of, there's something about it. My jackets, when it has that center split, it'll always want to be pulling apart. There's just something about how it sits on me. having the two slits in the back is really flattering and just better, in my opinion. Speaking of coats, this is a new coat for me. I did get it in the springtime, but by then, I mean, it was at the very, very end of spring. We were heading into summer, and so I think I've only used this about once. This is a beautiful trench from Brooks Brothers. If you have never tried the coats from Brooks Brothers, they almost always go to like 50, 60% off. I have two of them. I got them both greatly reduced. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous trench coat. It even has a 100% wool removable liner, which is really thin, so it doesn't add any bulk, but it's very, very warm. When I bought this, I couldn't help but think about whether or not I would really get a Burberry trench, knowing that I was able to buy something like this for this price, this high quality. I mean, it's a 100% cotton trench with a wool removable liner, and it's just, it really is gorgeous quality, and it fit me beautifully. You know, I mean, I think it's just true for women where we have a really hard time finding like coats, jeans, like anything that you want to be tailored in a certain way. So when you find something that fits you properly, oh, it's just a dream. But I love this, and I do still want a Burberry trench, but I couldn't help but wonder, okay, what am I paying for? Is it really worth it? Yeah, I still haven't really made up my mind, but I do want one. I mean, I love coats. I really like this, but again, if you haven't checked out Brooks Brothers for coats, it is a good one for just simple classics. Okay, last but not least, moving on to the handbags. If you're familiar with my collection, these might not come as a surprise. I'm obviously not showing a new handbag on here right now. There's no big, ooh, guess what, surprise reveal, because that's just not gonna happen after my Louis Vuitton bag. Obviously, I am really looking forward to using my Louis Vuitton bag in this fall, but I've already been using it, so I didn't want to mention it here. These are two which I don't use in the summertime, and I think it'll be obvious why. To start out with, this is my Ferragamo box bag. I think they spell box differently because it's to celebrate like the different generations. At least that's how they were marketing it. I love this bag. Ferragamo is one of the few brands I've seen where you can get their classic styles in the US outlets. I'm not sure how it is in other countries, but you see these go on sale. You see their studio bag go on sale. You see them in the outlets throughout the United States. So if you're thinking about a Ferragamo bag, I mean, they even go on sale in the boutique. As far as I know, that's not something that happens in any other house. I really like that Ferragamo is, like, they're not owned by LVMH or, the one that starts with I think it's a K or an H, the parent company of like Gucci and Bottega. Ferragamo is just Ferragamo, which I do really like. But if you haven't tried their styles and you're thinking about it, they always do go on sale, and it's a nice way to dip your toe. The quality is gorgeous, so I don't fault anyone for paying full price, especially if you see a color that you like. But this is such a big bag. I think it looks gorgeous with navy and just all the colors I wear year round, but it's a really lovely forest green. Actually, this is the bag that started the whole train girl thing. I don't think I've told this story on here, and I'm in a chatty mood right now. So I've mentioned how I was a weekend commuter, but that's actually not what inspired the whole train girl name. So I was on a packed Amtrak train going from Rhode Island to Philadelphia. When I took one of the few available seats, I sat next to this incredible girl named Caroline. And if you don't know, the train ride from Providence to Philly is like a 5.5-hour train ride. I sat down next to her, I had this bag, and she was like, oh my God, I love your bag. And that launched a 4.5-hour conversation. We talked about everything. And then, you know, by the time we were getting to our stop, we were both kind of like, so, do you want to exchange numbers? You know, would that be okay? Like, we just hit it off right away. I love how fashion brings us together. I know that fashion gets such a bad rap and people just want to put anyone who's into it into this like really shallow box, and I feel like something like this is a really easy way for strangers just to suddenly get talking. Anyway, in her phone, under like the nickname section of the contact, she put TrainGirl, and you know, to remember who on earth this random person is in her phone. And that's how we saved each other. We got together later on, we've met up in New York, it's been great. But yeah, all of that, like a new friendship just because of a bag talking about that kind of thing, you know. How often does that happen where you're like, oh, I love your shoes, I love your coat, and you know, it gives you the opportunity to start talking to a stranger in the way you normally wouldn't. This video went on a complete tangent, but yeah, I don't really reach for this in the summer for obvious reasons. It's a darker color. I don't need a bag this big. It just feels kind of heavy in that summer heat. So I love this in the fall and winter time because it can hold my gloves, it can hold a book. It really is just a bottomless pit. That's actually the only negative I have for this bag, is that it's just a dark hole inside and it's really easy to lose your stuff. But yeah, looking forward to using that. Last but not least, this again will not be a surprise if you've seen my channel, but obviously I am looking forward to using this again because it's a dark tweed. This did not get a lot of love this summer. I think I used it once last week and I realized that I hadn't used it in a couple months, but I love this tweed 19. I see it everywhere. People are like, oh, is the 19 still in? Is it still hot? I don't care. I love this bag. This was my very first bag purchase of the year. I'll link that video down below, but I had been debating which Lady Dior to get. I decided I just couldn't pull the trigger for whatever reason. The next day I went into Chanel and I saw this. I was so glad that I had not allocated that money to a Lady Dior, because I certainly would not have been able to buy this that day. And as you know, with Chanel, if you go in and you see something, you're probably not going to see it again if you don't buy it that day. But yeah, I love this. It is black with a like rich indigo ribbon running through it, so it's really beautiful and multi-dimensional. It does have the Chanel ribbon going through it, but it's so subtle. From far away, it really just looks like a really soft black bag. So yeah, I love this 19. I'm so excited to wear it more, and it goes with absolutely everything. So that was my rambly video, all the things that I'm looking forward to for fall. Please let me know, is there anything that you're looking forward to? Do you have a favorite season? Are you like me and just kind of hate summer and just try to make it out the other side alive? I love fall, and I'll probably be a lot more, yeah, I don't know, just more lively, I feel like, and, you know, on Instagram and YouTube, just because I feel like it brings me so much joy and it makes me happier not to feel like I'm battling the elements and just trying not to burn or be too hot. Anyway, enough rambling from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.